my name's Teresa, and I run a company called STEM Fast Track. And what we do is run mentoring programs to help kids stay in STEM. So we teach them life skills and connect them with industry and really prepare them for a life of STEM, because it's cool to be smart and it's cool to actually work in STEM or do STEM stuff. So it's a passion project of mine. So in fact, I've decided I'm going to change my title from Chief Executive Officer to Chief Encouragement Officer, because that's what I really do. So I'm a Chief Encouragement Officer. So I'm in Adelaide in Australia, and right now it's 10 to 7 at night, and it's a beautiful 20 degrees. We're in spring, and it's great, really good. So I've got a few things to go through, and my topic is how to be smarter than the adults you know using STEM. Okay, and it's actually a 4-part presentation, so I'm going to cover the M part today. Okay, Okay. So if I could share my screen, if you're happy with that, Jake. Yep. Okay, great.
Yep. You should have permission. It's all yours.
Excellent. Thank you. So that one. Excellent. So I will go through some background. Sorry?
We see it. We see it.
Okay, awesome. Lovely. Houston, we have contact. This is good. So I'll go through some background stuff and then I'll get into the juicy bits. And at the very end, I've actually got a slide that it says, please take a photo, because that's the slide that you can actually has all the notes on it. So make it easy for you. Okie dokie, let's get going. So I'm in Australia. So this is not in my backyard, but yes, I have met many kangaroos. So that just goes to show where I am. And a bit about me. So my background is Polish, and top left is my husband and my children, which are taller than me. That's me in my national costume cooking. I love to create flowers. That's my mum. She's 90. She's a big inspiration. She basically encouraged me to go for it, and if I fall over, get up again and keep going. And it's good to be smart. And mum, being Polish, Madame Curie was Polish. She married a French dude, so her name was Madame Curie Skłodowska. So she was responsible for coming up with the X-ray. And I love cars, Formula One, anything to do with that. So that's a bit about me. My career map. So I started as a grad at Telstra, then I worked in big companies, but that little bubble that you see there, the black little bubble talking, indicates networking was really paramount in me actually getting those other positions. And that's a strong theme in what I teach the students on our programs. So we work with educators, not just teachers, but principals, STEM leaders, students, families, and industry, to really make those connections so students can see who they can become. So we run workshops at schools, bring industry to teachers to really help teachers understand what's happening. A big focus we have now is on cyber and space. The space industry in particular in Adelaide is going off. We also run tours of the innovation districts. That's some of the girls on my team. The flagship program we have is STEM Sister, and that's a 3-day program we run for girls, typically at the time of high school, where they decide what subjects they want to be studying. It's really to connect them with other girls. And we've had over 700. So this is not an hour presentation. This is a 3-day course that teaches them life skills and all different backgrounds. And a lot of these girls are now finishing university, and at 23 buying homes, like for real. They've really got their life sorted. We also run the boy equivalent, STEM Mister, and I've got young men helping me deliver that program. Next weekend, we've got the STEM Summit, Esteem Summit, which Jake is just national this year, but next year we'll be going global. So we'll be inviting your gift attendees to participate. And this is really an ability for students to showcase what they're actually doing in the STEM space. The E is for entrepreneurship, and the A is for art or design. And I really like the aspect of science communication. So now, launching tomorrow, you guys are the first in the world to know, we're actually doing Cyber Sister. So that's a 4-day program where students will be on a trajectory to have a cyber career, and they will be hired as a result of finishing high school. They will be hired into a traineeship. So this is huge, and that's sponsored by Accenture. All right, now we are here to talk about how to use STEM to be smarter than the adults you know. So we're going to get into that. So this is the M part. So Jacob, if you want to have me back for subsequent ones, I'll go through secrets for the science, technology, engineering. Awesome. But this one's about maths and your money, the secret to wealth. So yeah, this is really cool. Very simple, but powerful. Okay, so this book, which I read years and years ago, my mentor asked me to read, it blew my mind. It's one of those Bitmojis, you know, blew my mind. It's very, very simple. You track what you have. And a lot of the students say, I've got no money, you don't understand. I mean, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You get birthday money. Grandma gives you money. You do chores. You've got money. You've got money. And sometimes you do part-time jobs or mow the lawns for neighbors. One kid we had on our program couldn't get a job, but he cleaned his mum's bin. And then the mum told the neighbor, then told the neighbor, then told the neighbor. And for $20, he was cleaning the neighbor's bins. He was raking it in. So, and then trimming, targeting, training. And I'm going to go through each one of those in a second. So this book, by the way, by Blaine Harris is still available, and it's told as a story. It's very powerful, very, very powerful. So number one is you track. It's very important to know how much money you have. And I want to start with a quote. It's not how much you earn, but it's how much you keep that determines your wealth. Okay, it's very, very important. Not how much you earn, but how much you keep determines your wealth. So here's a simple template that I picked up from Kmart, Target. Very, very simple. Yeah, but you track everything you earn. So for example, if you're a student, any government support you get, or part-time work, or donations from grandmas, that's your income. And very, very important to track. Now, it's important to start with realizing how much, for those of you that are older, any credit card debt or anything like that, just be brave, set a timeline. I go for a coffee and I spend about an hour when I've got to do big, hairy things I don't want to do. I give myself an hour, buy myself a coffee. For example, just had my beautiful cup of coffee, and I go, I'm going to solve this now. That way, you know, it's only going to be an hour. Yeah. Write everything down. Next, you trim, you cut back stuff you don't need to do. Okay. Example, when I did this years ago, we realized as a family, we spent a lot on takeaway, a lot. We don't need to. So what we decided to do is go out to dinner once a week as a family and talk and not do takeaway. And we saved hundreds of dollars. And the money we saved, we decided we're going to take a holiday, and we went away to a beach house at the end of the year. Okay. So that's trimming. Thirdly is targeting. Okay. So you just heard me say we trimmed back the money, but we targeted and we had a holiday. I work really well by giving myself rewards. So this is going to sound really funny, but I've got a fun bucket. So the way we manage our money, the money comes in, and one of the big things that we pay for, if you can see here, there's actually mortgage. And I can take a photo and include this, but biggest things is, you know, the mortgage. We don't owe any money on our cars. Bills are the next big thing. And then, of course, there's food and all the insurances and stuff like that. But if I'm a good girl and I don't get a lolly for it, I don't like it. So I've got a fun bucket. If I behave, this is for real. Like, I'm 53, but this is for real. If I manage the money well, I give myself a fun bucket. My fun bucket has got $200 in it, and I can do whatever I want with it. Okay. So this is really, really funny. A couple of years ago, I spoke in Hawaii, and I had a big fun bucket, but I bought myself this bag. And you think to yourself, do I need another bag? Blah, blah, blah. The answer is always yes. So I earned it, I saved up and I got it. Last week, I found these online and they're actually the same color as my conference. And I thought, I need them. Okay. Now it seems a bit funny, but we're tracking on budget, on target, and on schedule. So my brain goes, if I perform well, I reward myself. So it's up to you. Some of the students we have, what they do is they want to save up some new technology or a new phone cover or whatever it is. But targeting is important because this life skill of goal setting transposes everywhere. And the last one is training. You never stop learning. So for example, you can, the most powerful thing is you are who you rub with. You may remember, Jake, in the previous session, I spoke about your 5, and it's very important. If you're around people that swear a lot, you'll swear. If you're around people that spend a lot, you'll spend. But if you're around people that are conservative, you'll be like that. And it's also important to learn. So what are the best ways to manage your money and stuff like that? So we've got a group of STEM sisters that actually are so good with their money. One of them, literally, she's 22, bought her own home. She was going to build it, but she realized if she buys a home, she'll save $50,000. And she's now being like the mentor for the other girls and forming a money training group, which is so good for her. Friends, like I mentioned, the group you hang out with will influence you. So if you've got kids that are really smart with money, lean on them. Your friends, your co-workers, lean on them, ask them. I've got a very wealthy colleague who she's got many investment properties, and we don't talk numbers per se, but we talk about strategies and things like that. And it's great. And it almost wants me to be even better because I'm going to tell her, you know. Like I said, who you rub with makes a big difference. And I'm just going to do a time check. Okay, we've still got some time. And it's also important to have the right mindset. So I often see that you've got, you know, a good puppy in your head telling you good stuff and an angry puppy. And someone said to me, which one wins? And it's basically the one you feed. So the one you give more energy or thought, you know, you'll get a fat angry puppy or a fat happy puppy. But it's important to do that. It's important to have the right mindset. And I'll give an example of a girl I'm mentoring now. Her mother and her sit in the car on Wednesday just before they go shopping, waiting for the actual pay to come in so they can go shopping. Now that's wrong. You should have money already put aside so you can actually do that. And but she's so scared of being like a mum. So I said, look, you've got to be independent, get a part-time job, manage that money yourself. But because she thinks about it all the time, that angry puppy's getting bigger. So we have to make that angry puppy or the negative puppy smaller. It seems a bit weird, but whatever works for you, whatever works for you, but you have the choice how you think. It's important to see how you can manage your money. And if there are students listening, small children, teenagers, look around the people that you know are really good with money. How do they respect money? Do you see them going out a lot or buying flashy things or respecting money? And just learn from them as well. And read books on money management. I'm reading one about the personality of money. It's mind-bending. Now, next thing is to start. What are you going to do? Okay, so like, what are you going to do? After this amazing gift 2 or 3 day conference, so much knowledge, so much wisdom, it's very important to put this into action. It's just a fun experience unless you do something, okay? So I strongly suggest, so this is the actual summary slide. It's not how much you earn, but how much you keep that determines your wealth. And the 4 laws of financial prosperity are tracking, trimming, targeting, and training. Guard who you let and what into your mind. Focus is important, and be patient. You know, like I mentioned, I'm in my 50s and we're still learning financial strategies and to actually save money and make money work for you as well. But for people listening, what are you going to do? So I suggest find a nice spot, a comfy spot, get a nice diary. I just bought myself this amazing diary, and the paper's actually made of stone. Would you believe it? It's waterproof. It's amazing. And I love a good pen, and just sit down and write down all the income you've got, what's in the bank, what do you owe anyone, and what other money you've got coming in, and do a little budget for the month, for the week, and then for the day, and then just focus, and then do it step by step, and track each week, and each week again, and each week again. And don't be hard on yourself if you don't meet your goal, but bit by bit, just track it and see how you go, and you'll see you'll actually improve. But it's important to start straight away. And if you want to reach out to us, that's the numbers to get us, or email at hello@stemfasttrack.com.au. And that's all I have. So that's another one of our gorgeous animals. We have the koala having a nap, because it's well, it's only 7 here. I think is it in the deep of the night at yours, Jake?
Well, it's the middle of the night for me. Antonius, it's daytime because he's near you.
That's right.
In Indonesia.
Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, so that's it. That's all I have.
Well, no. That's not all you have, because I want to hear more. You're doing all kinds of things. You don't have to do another letter right now. Okay.
Okay.
But you're going to come back and do some other letters, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. So this is just it, because I had too much to cover in 20 minutes, and I didn't want to.
Well, actually, yes, but you didn't use all that time, so you still have plenty of time if you want to talk and tell some more stories.
Great. How much more time do I have?
You got about 15 minutes.
I've got 15. Oh, I thought I had till 5 past. Oh, awesome.
No.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, engineering, I'll talk about E now. I'll do a presentation later, but I'll talk about E.
Sure, please.
Yeah, great. So the E part is, I actually think, like I said this before, but I think it's very important to be smart and to actually enjoy being smart, because you don't just learn at school to have a job, you learn for life. And what do I mean by that? So, for example, we've got a carport and the door closed, but when it rained, it flooded the garage, and the equipment in the garage was actually being affected. For example, the bookcase was rotting, the tools were becoming rusty. So this is a bit of a problem. So you actually need a bit of engineering now to work it out. So one option is stop the rain coming in. The other option is from the inside stopping it, yeah? But what about doing a membrane at the base of the door to actually stop the water coming in, besides sealing it? So stuff like this I find really interesting, because there's got to be a way, right? And you might as well solve it, because, it's your life, why wait for someone to do it or solve it? Why don't you work it out? And I've learned to basically come up with processes to problem solve it. So number one is work out what the problem is, like really understand it. And number two, break it down into the various components that are broken. And then number three is trial and error, is actually come up with a solution, try it, attempt, see how it goes. By the way, it took us 3 attempts to stop our garage leaking. And because we sealed it on the outside, we sealed the roof, we sealed everything, but it was actually through a small crevice through the side of the door, and under the lip of the carport door, it was leaking. So my husband had an ingenious idea. He actually drilled to the cement floor the equivalent of a ruler, like a metal ruler, would you believe? It was only 3 mils. And that worked really, really well. It was sufficient enough to stop the water from lapping into the garage. And it sounds like it floods here, but it's just this one part in our backyard. So that's one example. Another example is like when we were buying this house, we had to decide location and money and accessibility and everything. So we put things through a spreadsheet. It seems weird, but we basically write down the options, and we do an emotional decision, but quite a technical decision process as well. And we rate it. So it's almost like in engineering, you've got a requirements traceability matrix where things have to match up. Well, we apply that to real life, and we use it all the time. It's quite funny, but it becomes a habit for you to apply engineering to real life, and it's actually quite useful. So, Jake, or Antonio, do you have any questions for me?
It just takes me a second to unmute.
Sure.
Okay.
I have a question to ask. How did you get started doing this?
Good question. So years ago, when I was the general manager of a not-for-profit, we ran engineering programs at schools. And it was an established company, and we basically ran programs with drones, scale-electric cars at schools. There was about 3,000 kids involved, and it was working okay. But when I went to the schools, I saw that the girls were watching the boys play with the cars and the drones, but they wouldn't let them play. They wouldn't let them play. And the guys were kind of, leaning over and working it out. And the girls are there, you're going to run out of money. Gee, stuff's due next week. You haven't started the report. And then it hit me. That the guys just want to get their hands dirty and fix it. And the girls were literally standing back, having a perspective going, you're behind schedule. And I saw they weren't able to communicate. And I thought, gee, I wonder if I was to teach the girls how to communicate and then teach the boys to communicate, well, listen to communicate, and them to work together, this would really be good. And I knew it would take a long time, but it would be worth it. And that was 7 years ago. So that organization, unfortunately, was closed because it was government sponsored. But when it closed, I bought the rights to actually run the programs. And now I have the privilege to actually see, so system is working, but cyber's a big deal. So we're actually have that sponsored, and then the conference and stuff. But that was how it started. I just saw an opportunity, and I like to say you need to be brave a little bit. You don't have to be brave a lot. You just have to be brave a little bit. And if you're prepared to be brave, then it's easier. Like I'm sure, Jake, with what you're doing, running a global conference is a pretty audacious undertaking. And, I'm sure you and Julie had the idea, you've got a team supporting you, and you kind of did it, and you have to be brave enough to kind of say it and then work it out. And it's not like you're brave all the time. It's like a heartbeat, you're kind of brave, and then and that's how it started. And next year we'll be going, running our programs internationally. We'll be running them online, and I'm really looking forward to that. I actually want to launch in Indonesia, in Vietnam in particular as well, and just grow our programs internationally as well, and have a bigger impact. So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me to influence, especially girls that are smart, to enjoy being smart, because I used to be called a nerd when I was younger, and a square or whatever, but then I like it. I like it. I'm glad I know how my car works. I am. Why not? So a bit of age helps as well. But like just before this, I was watching a YouTube documentary on why Red Bull's car is actually the Formula One car. Technically is faster than the Mercedes. Like, I know most people think who cares, but oh my God, that makes me so excited, and the diagrams and the visuals are so cool. And it's, by the way, they split their turbo into 2 sections. That's what did it. So anyway, you can watch that on YouTube. So sorry, Jake, hope that answered the question.
Yes, you not only answered my first question, you answered my second question too. So that was going to be, are you planning to expand? Antonius, you're obviously also pretty brave. Antonius is running some incredible programs in Indonesia.
Yeah, I think, Teresa, after this, definitely I will keep in touch with you. I will send you the email maybe in 3 hours after I hosting this, because we also have something to do for the kids conference next month. So awesome. I would like to invite your best kids to share the story as well.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'll be great.
I will send you the email later, and we hope that we can connect. But I do agree with you that it's not about money. It's not about the academic. It's all about how we prepare the life through the education that we have. We are in the same track, and hopefully we can continue later.
Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
So
awesome.
When you explain your program, I quickly go to your Instagram, quickly go to your Facebook, and also the website.
Awesome, that's great. Well done. And LinkedIn, my LinkedIn, I'm quite active on LinkedIn as well. So if you wanted to have a look, it's my name as well. So that's great. I look forward to that. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Sure.
Awesome. How are we going for time? Just
we're okay. We're going to be wrapping it up, but I don't want to cut you off because I think this is fascinating.
Thank you.
I have a question. This is an international group, and there's things going on, and right now you're live, but we're going to put this up on YouTube, and people will be watching this. What should they do if they see this and they go, oh, this sort of looks interesting? But Teresa didn't mention my country when she talked about where she was expanding. Can people be part of this that you haven't actually expanded into their country, or what
yes.
do people do when they watch this?
Yes, that's right. So the way I like to do things is I like to fail fast and fail forward. So I've been to Vietnam many times, and I have a connection now with the Antonos. So what I like to do is I'll pick a region that's similar to my time zone, and we'll launch there soon, like Q1 next year. So we will do STEM Sister there and learn from that. So I've done online training in Australia, but what I do like to do is send packs over. So you get some of the worksheets and things like that, or at the very least you can print. And then once we've reviewed that, how effective and how we've done that, then I will actually schedule subsequent ones. So most certainly the US, as I mentioned, Jake, early this year is definitely a target, a goal, and also Europe as well. So there's other regions, but the first area is our close neighbors. Simply because of convenience of time zone. And we're doing STEM Sister nationally by the end of the year. We did a trial, but I'd like to have more shorter lessons, because the way it is delivered now, it's 3 days face-to-face, and we run it in boardrooms and training rooms. So students go to companies that are like Amazon, Microsoft, and they go to places they could work, and they literally see people that they can become. And it's happened. So over 700 girls, another 180 boys have done the program. So these kids are now working in the fields that, you know, they wanted to. And a lot of them are low socioeconomic, or were told they're not smart enough, stuff like that. So yeah, so doing it online, I still want them to have a degree of experience. So we'll be lining up extra speakers. I've got a catalogue of about 17 speakers already to join us. But yeah, most certainly. So to answer your question, if we're not in that region yet, email me on hello@stemfasttrack.com.au and say, when are you coming? And we can schedule that in.
Great. Thank you very much, Teresa. Thank you. And we still have recorded your promise to come back and talk to us some more. So sure. You are now committed. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Teresa, thank you so much.